Working on My BS, the show where you don't have to be right, you just have to be sure. We've got some lovely prizes that we're going to give to everyone, and maybe one lucky contestant will get to have a night out on the town with me. Let's meet our contestants! Since you're not important enough for me to have learned your names, I'm going to have you introduce yourselves. You'll be contestant number 1.
Contestant number 1, I'm Jay Jacoby. I'm only here for the date with him, so...
I can totally understand that. Contestant number 2.
I'm B. I'm only brown person here. It's kind of awkward. But okay, that's cool.
I agree.
All right.
And contestant number 3.
Richard, representing Frontier Fiesta.
Sweet. I guess that maybe one day I'll go to that. All right, now that you've met our contestants, let's meet our judges. Our judges are wonderful, kind people. Actually, that's a total lie. They're the most horrible people in the world. But contestants, you should remember that you're going to need to pander to these people and their every whim, because they're the ones that award you your points. I'd like to introduce you to your judges. We have Jeffrey, Jason, and James. How very alliterative. Jeffrey, tell us something about yourself. Jason?
Oh, yeah,
something
he
more
said
eloquent?
times 3 and, you know, stuff.
And James, perhaps something that, is coherent.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm the best groomed of all the judges, to be honest.
I 100% agree with that statement, James.
I think he wants to date with you.
Well,
You'd better
Perhaps.
I'm in.
All right. Well, let's get on with the show. Today, I'm going to ask you some astoundingly hard trivia questions, and you're going to give me an answer. It doesn't have to be the right answer. If by some bizarre coincidence you do know the answer, go ahead and tell me that one, and you'll get 2 points. Otherwise, these judges over here are going to award a point. They're each going to award a point to the contestant that they think gave the best answer. Like I said, you don't have to be right. It pays to be a good liar here on Working on My BS. Everything clear as mud?
Yes.
All right then, let's get started. Question number 1. Aside from hard to pronounce, what is Teotihuacacatl? Contestant 1.
Teotihuacacatl, actually that is a herb that was first introduced to the Native American people back in the year 1422 that they used to groom their females in order to be better childbearers. So.
How wonderfully overstated. Contestant number 2.
Wow. Where did you come up with that? Seriously. Holy crap. I don't know. Is it kind of like hookah?
Contestant number 3.
I believe that's a country in South Africa in between the Impanawa and the Kitsitiratamara, which actually I think those two together rhyme together. So it actually makes sense for that word too.
Indeed. Judges, what do you guys think? Who had the best answer?
You can go first.
Judge?
Just because he seemed pretty confident about it, and he didn't laugh a bunch.
All right, judge number 2.
I have to vote number 1 because he was the first one to say something utterly ridiculous out of the 3.
Wow.
I'm going with 3 because the contrast to number 2's awful answer was just so, made a big impact on me.
Marvelous. So number 3 jumps out to an early lead. Actually, Teotihuacacatl is a small pueblo in southern Mexico.
I knew it!
All right, well, moving on.
This coming from
Question number 2.
No, you
Son Goku is a German metal band of dubious talent. That was not a question. Here's a question. What did they name themselves after? Contestant number 1.
I believe it was after a type of Pokemon.
All right, contestant number 2.
Dragon Ball Z?
Contestant number 3.
I was also going to say Dragon Ball.
All right, can you come up with a better answer than that?
Well, instead of saying Dragon Ball Z, I said Dragon Ball instead. Because Dragon Ball was actually the pre-release before Z.
Yes, indeed. You get double points for dorkiness. All right, judges.
I give it to number 3 because I wasn't really listening. I was drawing a Pokeball. But it sounded like he had some extra geek information, which always gets more points with me.
You're sad. I vote number 2 mainly because of the logistics behind the fact that the metal band probably didn't base it off of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is the one where they all went Super Saiyan like all the time and crap like that. So they probably more accurately watched Z. So unfortunately, he chose it before you. But
Yeah.
that's actually, I want to give you points. Can I give him like 200 points?
I'm gonna go with number 1 because he went the you know, childish and kind of wimpy way with that.
You like Pokemon, do you, James?
Yeah, that's more my style. You know.
Awesome. Well, the answer was actually Dragon Ball Z, believe it or not. So, number 2 gets our first correct answer of the day.
Wow.
All right, and one more question before we go. A step up, I suppose, from, you know, high school sex ed. A teacher by the name of Thomas Trueblood once made national headlines by teaching a course entitled Lessons in Lovemaking.
Is that the answer?
Okay, yeah, that was the answer.
I was like, what's the question?
Yeah! Alright.
What position, but whatever.
Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna have to cut it now.
At least our
because
hands
we-
aren't this
okay.
color.
Completely throw out that question then. Not all things are as nice as they sound. The 1839 Honey War was a territorial dispute between what 2 massive global powers? Contestant number 1.
Well, massive global powers was actually something made up by the media in order to contradict the importance of this battle. It was actually between the polar bears and penguins on the northernmost point of Antarctica.
Excellent. Contestant number 2.
I'm gonna say Germany and U.S.
All right, contestant number 3.
I was going to say the United Nation of fried eggs versus the Nation of bacon. See, they had 2 different factions, and with those factions, they had
No one cares.
peanut butter. Oh, no.
Judges.
Peanut butter cinnamon war. Barry, look it up.
I
It's really
give
good.
it to number 1 because he referenced penguins, and that's just the greatest thing ever. I'm sorry.
Very deformed penguin.
And penguin right there.
Yep.
See that?
Number 2.
Now it's going
There.
Super Saiyan.
I gave it to number 1. That was just ingenious.
All right, number 2. 3.
I gave it to number 1 because polar bears and penguins live at opposite poles of the globe.
All right, well, you were all wrong
Hemisphere
because
globe.
it was actually a war fought as a territorial dispute between Missouri and Iowa. But who cares? Number 1 gets all the points, and we're going to go to a commercial break now.
Hey!